Hello, everybody. Welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we're here for our first recap of House of Fear, Fear Factor, or if it's the other way around, I don't know. Anyway, I'm here with a very fun panel to walk us through this very interesting season so far. First off, I have my first co-host, Ganjo. Ganjo, what's going on?
Let's get it. After watching this episode, I have come to the conclusion that I have no fears but the fear of failing. So I wonder how far that'll get me in the game. Okay.
All right. And then we also got Cheyenne. Cheyenne, what's happening?
I'm doing so great, Isaiah. I can't wait for us to see how much fear really is a factor.
All right, there you go. Now, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything else, please rate it 5 stars. 5 stars only. If you don't like it, don't rate it at all. Wait till you hear something you do like. Also, if you're watching this at a later date or live, please like, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And directly after this, we are covering. I'm doing my next podcast, which is covering the traders. But right now, we're here to talk about Fear Factor. Listen. My history with Fear Factor before even getting into the reality-ness of this season is minimalistic because I used to watch it. I think it was on MTV back then, and I just remember it being a show about people eating bugs and doing weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, this is weird, but I will watch it. But now they're kind of bringing aspects of like Big Brother, Survivor, all your favorite like reality shows on here. Obviously, we have a really good friend. That podcast on here, Lance. Shout out to Lance. I see you chatting. That is on the season, so we're like, we got to cover it. Cheyenne, before we even went live, you wanted to break down some interesting bullet points about Fear Factor. So go ahead.
Yes. So a certain thing is the host, the new host of Fear Factor. So basically, one thing, Fear Factor, House of Fear. They're adopting the Big Brother like long game of having 10 episodes, people living in a house, blah blah blah. Weird things are that when you won an individual episode, you got like $50,000.
Okay.
And these people are competing for 200,000.
They being cheap for sure. Most definitely being cheap.
Yeah, kind of funny. And Johnny Knoxville was, of course, in what was it? Jackass. Do you guys remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to watch it sporadically. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Steve-O and all that stuff. I know Jackass, and I actually thought that Johnny being the host of this was very interesting, you know what I'm saying? But I thought it was a good pick because I was talking to Ganja about this before we went live. I remember they literally had like Ludacris as like a host of Fear Factor one time. I'm like, what does Ludacris have to do with Fear Factor? So Johnny is known for doing extreme things. I thought that was a good selection for the host spot here, and I thought it was match made personally.
I agree. And going back to the point of Fear Factor, you watching on MTV? Jackass was on MTV. I think he was like kind of in the lexicon just anyway. And even going back from Joe Rogan, before Joe Rogan was this big podcast person, I knew him for Fear Factor. I don't know this Joe Rogan that's on podcast. So I do feel like it was a very interesting choice to go from Joe Rogan to Ludacris, then back to Johnny Knoxville. I think Johnny Knoxville like kind of fits in that mode more. Like I vividly remember only like 2 episodes. It's not like a real full episodes. I remember when they put needles in their arms. That's one episode I remember, and they had to it would go up into increase in size diameter of the needles. And then I remember the episode that they made the contestants stay up the entire 72 hours, so they had to compete off no sleep. So I kind of really enjoyed that. But like Cheyenne said, they were getting 50 bands at that point. To only give them 200,000 now, it's kind of like that's kind of cute, but get them some more money. They eating bugs.
Yeah. Come on. Listen, they're on a budget because this is the first season. If it does well, I can see more. Like obviously, they put a lot of effort into like the challenges. Obviously, because I will say, They did really good with setting that stuff up. Obviously, I'm sure it was a lot of money just for a bunch of bugs and animals for this entire season, and then the house. So
upset.
PETA is probably upset. But listen, they knew what they was getting themselves into. Okay.
Okay.
One thing I do want to point out is that the company that produced Fear Factor, House of Fear, also produced Dondi.
Oh, please. Okay, we love that.
Games.
They said no more of Dondi. Okay.
They said we might be unemployed here, but look, we got a new gig over here. Okay.
Because that's a good ploy though. Because I ain't gonna hold you up. If it was, I don't know what happened with Dondi. I just know David won all that money, and now there's no show. But I will say, shifting into a show where you're paying your people $200,000 is way better than giving somebody $5 million. So that I feel it. Okay, and the risk is way lower. So if that was on the docket, I get it. But I'm not too picky. I do have some quorums about the first challenge. But that's just my reality TV buff in me of why I'm irritated about that challenge.
Well,
okay.
Listen.
Before we actually get to the episode, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I know you called on me to talk about this, but I need y'all to talk about it first while I got my thoughts together. So Johnny Knoxville, before this show, before he was hosting this, he was hosting another reality TV show for about a year called The Prank Panel from ABC.
I've never heard of that.
It's him, Eric Andre, and Gabori Sibide.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So they had a prank show together. And you know why it wasn't renewed?
Why?
A handyman hired by the company sued Johnny Knoxville for emotional distress from a prank.
Please. Please.
Also, Eric Andre quit filming for a few times because Johnny Knoxville kept pranking him.
I believe that. I can see Eric Andre being that kind of person. Actually,
that's beautiful. Okay.
So, all right. Real quick, we are not. How do I say this? I don't want to do a traditional recap for this because there's obviously a whole bunch of players here. There's really a lot of focus on like personal connections for a majority of this episode. And then like obviously the main focus is like the big challenges and all that. So before we get to the players, I guess I wanted to ask a few questions and get your guys' opinion on it. Cast aside, Ganja, you started talking about this, so let's go to you first. How did you feel about the challenges this episode? So the first one was they were literally vacuum sealed inside some plastic, and then they had to find their way out. And then the second one is like they had to face their own fears, and basically like what was it? Like they were in like this like plastic tube with like a bunch of rats, snakes, birds, bugs, you name it. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about it?
I actually do feel like the second challenge, I forgot the elimination challenge that they call it, whatever it's called. I think that was correct. I think it like felt right, correct. But I do feel like the first challenge, if you're gonna come in swinging as a new show, like I said, this might be from me just being such a reality TV fan, you got to come out swinging. Like the challenge, be blowing shit up all the time. Okay, like do something to like engage me. And I do feel like I personally would have had fear in being in a claustrophobic space, but TV wise did not scream out to me, okay, this is an introduction of a new show and I'm putting in the most fear possible. Like, you feel me? So I think they could have, knowing what Fear Factor challenges are in a past, I feel like they could have probably pushed the boundaries a little bit harder for that first challenge. But like I said, that second challenge was pretty good. I think they said it was random, but that girl got snakes and she said she hated snakes. So I'm like, that's not random. But
I'm actually curious what you feel, Cheyenne.
Yeah, I was about to say, Ethan got pigeons. There's no way that's random. There's no way you're just randomly unleashing pigeons. The first challenge, what's crazy is that it's a fetish. Like, being in vacuumed plastic wrap is kind of a thing for people. Don't Google it. But I did think that was an interesting first challenge. It is kind of like a body positive way of
Oh,
claustrophobia. You
yep.
know, you're not just locking everyone into the same closet where people have different spaces. We are all being de- deprived of oxygen.
Mhm.
And it was kind of interesting to watch them like seize up, and like it felt very dramatic. It's probably on par to when like Top Model or Drag Race had them have girls like dove underwater
Mhm.
for pictures, because it's like so unnecessary, but it's like a challenge.
I agree. I just feel like I wanted if it was really that scary, I wanted somebody to quit. Like these things need to be quit worthy. You feel me? Like
I'd quit.
okay, like
Yeah.
I was debating on how much space I would actually have because I really don't like being in too close of spots. But it seemed like they had enough space right in front of them to like not freak out from not having air.
I'm gonna be straight up. There's no amount of money that I would ever take to go on this show. I agree with Ganjo. I would have flipped the second challenge to the first because I think that would have been like a good like icebreaker.
Mhm.
But and then make like the sealed one the second one, because I think even though it was less entertaining, I do think that it's a little bit more competitive and like it requires a lot more skill versus just like, oh, like we're just throwing like a bunch of animals and stuff on people. I would have quit on either one of these challenges, especially like the vacuum seal. I already know I'm a sweaty person. Like, bro, it would have been,
Mhm.
you feel me? So like, I would have been freaking out that I couldn't move and stuff. But the animal challenge where she got like mice on her head, you got like snakes slithering around, and like, bro, the one dude, the older dude, who he actually completed the challenge. He had bugs like going all up in his face and stuff.
Okay.
Those
Shout
goggles.
out to Rob.
I would have
Rodney
quit.
had an advantage.
Yeah.
His
Mhm.
lizards were eating the crickets.
Okay, that's so.
Yeah.
Cuz had a
Yeah.
literal birds flying in his face. That's
Yeah.
not fair. What is going on here?
I would have did bad on any of these, but I think the birds would have did it for me.
Mhm.
Actually, real quick, we can all answer this question at bulk course in the chat. Name something you're afraid of. I'm afraid of a lot of things, but birds, that would have been me because I think they're rodents with wings. I hate
Okay.
birds with a burning passion. That would have been me. What about you, Cheyenne?
I think the smaller, the scarier it is. So the bugs, like the bees, oh God, bees.
Oh my god.
All of them on me, I think that's my biggest fear.
I mean, I alluded to it earlier. I am very fearful of failure. So, but as a tangible
A
thing,
job interview answer right
okay,
there. It's
okay.
crazy.
But as tangible things, I'm not scared of heights. But if I was like in a place super high with no protection, I'll be scared.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. So
observation.
exactly. One more question before we get to the cast. How do you guys feel about the structure this season? Because they obviously have this thing where like they're doing the first challenge and then they're going to have people I forget what they called it. I'm so sorry, but it's like some system where like whoever wins the challenge has to pick someone to go, like it's like a bottom like four, I'm assuming, to go into an elimination challenge, and they get to like have a sneak peek.
Choose two pairs.
Exactly. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys think that's a good twist, or is that kind of like a missed opportunity?
I think it's fine. I like it. What I didn't like is when they first came in, was it like how random was it that they got put together? Like that's what I'm thinking about. Like in their appearance, I'm just like, that's where I'm kind of like that dictated a lot. So I will say I like the format. I do feel like maybe hopefully in the future it's less people that are safe and only certain people making decisions, because you can hide behind other people's decisions of have a majority of voting somebody in versus I had to make this decision by putting 1, 2, 3, 4 in. You know what I'm trying to say? So I hope it's less people safe or less people making the decision, but I do kind of like what they're trying to do where you have some kind of chance and it's not just a 50-50 that you're going to lose.
Yeah, how about you, Shia?
It was weird when they were all outside just carrying plates of gross stuff. Like, do you remember that? What was that? Was that just
maybe it was just kind of like welcome to the show moment or something? I don't know.
They want to have a pizzazz moment, I guess. Show some deer heads, I guess. I don't know.
He got separated for the challenges and the format and stuff. It kind of made me wish it was more The Amazing Race, where people came in as like female male teams.
I agree.
Because double male teams are always cursed. And I think that if everyone had a connection to someone else coming in, we'd be more invested in the drama. You know, it'd be like, don't talk to my cousin.
Okay.
Like that, you know, spice it up.
And before I forget, what I do not like is the nether zone of not understanding what's going on with individual people's fears. Does it matter? Does it not matter? Just because I say I'm afraid of mayonnaise, am I gonna get a tub of mayonnaise thrown at me? I don't know. So it's kind of like I want that to be, because Johnny like kind of alluded to it at one point when it was picking who they was gonna send in. Like, this is the time for you to decide. Like, did y'all talk about y'all fears? So it's like, I don't know if they talked about their fears, but y'all didn't tell us what these fears mean. So I'm gonna need them to clear it up a little bit.
This is definitely bringing me back to the days where we had hour-long episodes. This was like an hour, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't mind the hour-long format, by the way. I know a lot of people want like hour, 30-minute. I can't do all that. This was really, you could tell they had like a time crunch, and obviously the challenges are naturally going to eat up a lot of the time with, especially like a Fear Factor show. So like they had limited time to really show a lot of the social connections, but like I do think that with what they did have, they kind of like alluded to like you want to have social relationships for these twists and stuff, you know. So
yes,
I think it's interesting. It has promise. I'm not married to it yet, but I'm curious to see how they navigate it. I'm assuming there's going to be more twists down the line as well. So there's that. Let's talk about some of the cast. Oh, go ahead, go, Sharon.
Yes. No, I was about to say, if we can talk about the cast right now, like they really set us up to love the girls and hate whatever that guy's name is.
Zach and Rob.
Yeah.
I mean, not Zach and Rob. Is that? I know Zach for sure, but I know the other guy. That's
so. Here. Let's pull this up. So I'm not going to show. And if anyone in the cast is watching, I apologize. If you get screen time, you will be the center of attention for this podcast because we're not going to stay here for too long. But you brought up Zach and Rob, so let's talk about Zach first. Okay, so Zach was here. I'll put his picture up on the screen for anyone who is not familiar. I'm still learning people's names myself, so it's very helpful for me. This is Zach. Zach is one.
He's such a menace.
Zach is an unemployed coal miner. It says unemployed coal miner from Benton, Illinois. He's 33 years old. This guy, at least in my opinion, you guys can let me know what you feel, is presenting himself to be a menace this season because he is. I feel like obviously everyone on here has a fear, but he feels like the most like fearless so far. Maybe it could be all talk, but like he seems like he's here to make everybody's life a living hell. And hopefully that, like with the show that's not a vote out show, that actually could kind of work, which is pretty crazy. It's just going to be like an upward hill because like people are probably naturally going to throw this dude in the bottom for challenges now, but he seems like he doesn't care. So how do you guys feel about Zach?
I think he cares a lot, and I feel like he's already using this opportunity to kind of be the bully. Like, I don't think he's just going for menace. I don't think he's just scheming for a way to get to the end. He's not trying to use really good social capital. He's just like, all right, bullies, you know, girls be scared. Let's get it out.
I did find it weird that he specifically was like, if the girls are going to go home, let's send them home. Or like, that's easy. You still have to throw in multiple more people. So even if the girls do go home, you have to throw in a guy. It's just weird to think like that. And it's kind of like, if you do feel like they're not going to be able to conquer their fear, why aren't you throwing the guys in? That's going to be an issue later. So that's my only thing with Zach. I'll be like, okay, what are you really doing here? And I do feel like he do got like a no pun intended, he got a hard on against the girls. So it's just like, what was her name? Jasmine. She kind of said it right. Okay, she kind of ate him up.
Is it bad that he reminds me of Dustin from Stranger Things, like older? I'm not even trying to come at him. I'm just saying, like, you're right.
He living a little Dustin.
I didn't watch that show.
I'm crying. Go ahead.
Just a little bit.
He was just he called Christine a honeypot. It's just like you can't help but think this man has a thing against women, not only just because of what he says about them, but just how he's acting is just very like bros to the end coded. And it's kind of weird.
He
Hell yeah,
confuses
brother.
me because he randomly got really cool. I keep saying his name is Rob. Hopefully his name is Rob. It's the guy that he won the challenge
Rob.
with.
Yeah.
He like got like real close with him, quote unquote. They were really close, and then he kind of started being offended that old girl was like flirting with old boy, like, and he was calling him dumb for letting it happen. I'm like, wait, you could have just circled this all around and created an alliance with him and her. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is that not the next the next step? So the next level in the chain of thinking should have been that. So I'm just looking at Zach like, okay, do you really want to be here?
While we're talking about his partner, let's talk about Rob a little bit, actually. Rob
Rob's
is Zach's partner.
Ass bitch. All right. Rob, I can't wait for you to go home. I also don't want you to have the $200,000. I hope you go home cashless and with more fears.
Cool.
I honestly do feel like he's probably not unintelligent in real life, but in the game of Fear Factor, I don't think he has a grasp of what he really needs to do. Like, her name is Jasleen, correct?
Jaylene, I'll pull her up.
Jaylene, I don't know why I keep calling her Jasleen. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to learn that. Jaylene, homie, I'm really about her. She giving me Parvati reincarnation, and I love that she said she used witch oil to suck somebody into her. You feel me? Make sure that they are trying to protect her, and it kind of worked. But then I feel like Zach got in Rob's head, so it's kind of like, Rob, stop, slow down,
don't do that to our Queen Parvati.
You don't think Jaylene kind of coming in there like that? Come on, she kind of playing.
I feel like she was trying, but then like Zach kind of like came in and like messed a lot of stuff up because I think she was going to be successful.
Yes.
Zach, and Rob, and like I said, I don't know these people from a can of paint, so like this is just early interpretations. But he feels like a classic like 2010s like CBS reality TV guy, where it's just like the guy who wants to be Captain America. He comes in, he thinks he's a shit, and he's just trying to like run every vote. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
he's got lazy.
Exactly. And I'm crying. And the craziest thing, I feel like if Lance was not in this cast, I actually do feel like, and we'll get to Lance after Jaylene. I do feel like Rob would be such a dominant figure, and he still has the potential to be a dominant figure because at the end of the day, he kind of got what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he has the potential to run a bunch of votes at least early on, and then it might come back to bite him later down the line. But I feel like he's going to be like the head of the house when he's really just going to be like a bona fide shield for everyone. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to feel. Oh, why don't you agree?
Because throughout the episode, we see Jaylene and Christine. So they already paired up. You see them talking to Lance. You see them talking to Rob. Jaylene and Rob take turns giving each other piggyback rides.
As they should.
And Rob literally takes the girls aside and says, "This is us. Like, we're not going against each other," just to put two of them up.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, who's trusting him?
I feel like it's gonna. This house gives a vibe where it's like anyone but me.
Yes. Yes. I can see it. I can see people pairing off, but a 3-stack is going to be hard to come across in this configuration of people because I don't think they're ever going to trust each other that much, and I don't even think it'll get to that point because Rob tried to. Honestly, you shouldn't be making no promises when you only have a quarter of the decision making skills. Yeah. But when we talk about Lance, it seemed like he had 100% of the decision making skills. So
wait, are the duos permanent for the entire?
No, it was just for that
one round.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm optimistic. I feel like he's going to be a hot mess. Not gonna
Very
lie.
much. I'm gonna enjoy him for sure.
Let's talk about another person who got a lot of screen time this episode. His showmance, I guess, if it's still a thing, Jaylene. Ganjo, you called her the next coming of, I guess, Fear Factor's Parvati. Do you still how strongly do you feel about this?
Yes, I feel like she is a social seductress. I think she understands that she's about to play him. Like when it was asking her in her little like confessional thing interview, she was like, "Yeah, he cool." And I think she understands where she's trying to push that, especially because he kind of didn't save her now. So now she's probably feeling like, okay, I'm still gonna try to play this, but I have other angles because it's not like she just tried to ride with him and she ended up having Kristen on the side too. So, I feel like she understands game. They may keep throwing her in there, but she understands game.
I'm curious. I feel like if she is one of the few players who have the willingness to, like, I don't know, she seems like she has like some kind of strategic prowess. So like I think she understands the idea of like alliances and stuff, even if it's like flirtatious or whatever. Like I don't think she's gonna be like this flirt with every guy type of player. I don't think she's actually gonna be on Rob's top the whole time either. But like,
and let's not forget this. Parvati is always targeted early.
That's
the queen.
And the beautiful thing about a player like Jaylene is like
women of color are always targeted first, please.
I feel like if she makes friends just like targets like Zach, like she'll be fine because like I really don't think anyone's gonna care about Zach whatsoever.
They all know Zach head. Like
she
Zach
has
is
the
there.
Perfect alley-oop.
Oh, for sure. Zach is there to soak up all of the bullets for Rob. And I don't think Zach realizes that. Like he's taking anything from Rob, so he's done. Zach is.
I think Rob's throwing Zach under the bus after.
Oh, for sure. Zach is done. But Zach out here talking shit anyway. He talking cash about Rob regardless. So, but besides that, I think Jaylene did a really good job in the challenge. She stayed very calm. I don't know how hard it is to open up little eggs and put in numbers, but they did what they had to do in that challenge.
Is she the one with the rats all over and stuff?
I think yeah.
I would have quit. Off red. They was climbing on her face.
Mm-hmm.
Bad,
you gotta stay calm.
What I do think is interesting is that like when the 4 people were like voting the 4 people in, they basically set it up so that they knew Christine would lose. So they called like Ethan, Rodney, Christine, and then I think her name was like Danielle or Danny or whatever. She called Jaylene an alpha female.
Oh, her name Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler. She's from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And she called Jaylene an alpha female.
Everyone's afraid of pretty girls.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Just because she squatted Rob, baby, that means she alpha. She big dog out here, but they didn't put big in front of her name. Big Jaylene. Okay.
Big Jaylene. She'll be interesting. I want to see where she goes from here. Obviously, that challenge showed that she obviously has fears, but she's here to play. So she's competitive to some degree. So let's see what that is. I only see 3 other people we're talking. If you guys see someone else that isn't brought up, let me know. Okay. And before we end, let's talk about our boy Lance. Okay. Lance was one of the main characters this episode, and we're not glazing because he's over here. Lance was our main character this episode, and I've known Lance for a long time. So, like, I was expecting Lance to be strategic as well as trying to give great television, which he did. With that being said, I'm going to be unfiltered because, like I said, I got to be consistent. The biggest fear I had with Lance coming into this show was his mouth, because I know how Lance is. And I was like, he is going to try to fight somebody, like verbally, like he's going to try to have a rivalry with someone.
Toe-to-toe. He going toe-to-toe.
And the moment the Rob thing happened, I was like, oh no. Like, I'm like, this is exactly what I was waiting for. But it's not the end of the world, because I do think a lot of people in this house like Lance. I don't think, obviously, it's so early, anything can happen. There's nothing set in stone. It's not like Rob is like some kingpin of the show because it's so freaking early. But I think Lance and Rob are about to be very loud about how they dislike each other. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I did see one of the previews. Like, there's yelling involved at some point with Lance and somebody. I'm assuming that's going to be Rob. But, like, Lance is here to be a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lance, it's so tough for players like Lance because Lance is a great player, but also understand that it's a TV show. So he has to be messy.
You're putting a lot on this man.
Okay.
I'm just saying. That's not bad, though. I would be the same exact way. Listen.
Me too.
People, look at, there's people like Dan. Shania, look, there's people like Dan Giesling or Tony, or like, obviously, these are completely different players, but like, these are players who understand that you're on a TV show, so you're here to entertain as well as play. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. That's not bad.
New prescriptions. Get new prescriptions.
Okay.
This is Survivor.
What do you feel about how you feel about Lance's game?
Y'all are silly. This man's very entertaining.
Very.
Every time he was on screen, I was like, we're all taking notes. My man.
Okay.
Gotcha, go
ahead. No, you can continue right when I'm done. I got you. I feel like Lance is doing a really good job so far separating his strategic thought from his TV thought. So like he understands that he's there for two jobs, one to win for himself, but also to like be as entertaining as he can. I do feel like it's a risk, but it's like a very high reward for risk, high reward to have an enemy in a game. So having an outward feud with Rob can be very good for Lance and actually for both of them because they don't look as untouchable. And I think Lance's biggest issue might become he might trust the wrong person. Like,
let's back it up. Like, what were they arguing about? What makes you say that?
They were arguing. Now I'm not talking about in that situation. They were arguing about the point of Lance feeling like they have Blake out there who they've, I guess, come to the conclusion that he's smart and that he is strategic and that he's a fan and somewhat dangerous. So Lance understands that that is a person that he can use as a crutch in this game, correct? But I even think if you go to a step farther, even with his partner Tyler, I think those two specifically could be dangerous for him. And if he does link up with them for the long haul of the game, I can see either of them swiping up under him. But he has a better chance kind of going across the grain. You kind of trust him for so long. So I think we'll get more on this next episode, but I think Lance needs to not necessarily pick a side.
Yeah, you've confused me, Gonjo.
No, like, what do you mean?
I mean, I sort of see what he's saying though, Shine. Like, all right, a better way to word it, in my opinion, I think that right move, wrong time, because I feel like it's so early. Yeah, you don't know these people.
What's the setting that we're saying this all in?
I'm saying when they were discussing the four people who won, when they were discussing who they wanted to throw in, they were voting. It's under I think they were trying to throw Blake in, and Lance stopped them from throwing Blake in and end up, I don't know who ended up getting switched, but Jaylene and Kristen, I think both end up going in after that. So I think with that, he showed that, he's going to fight, not necessarily outwardly like I want to keep Blake because I like him. He's going to like fight for somebody not to go in place of like and put somebody else in that place. So I think if Lance does that too much, I think he's going to fall into a trap. But I like what he did now because he somewhat saved somebody I think he plans on working with, but he needs to foster that relationship if he's going to do that.
Where I was coming from was that I feel like it's just really early to kind of show your cards because, like I said, these people don't know each other yet.
But Zach,
listen, I agree, which is why I tore Zach a new one. I agree. What I'm saying is for both Lance and Zach and Rob, to be honest with you, it's like, and obviously we don't see everything. I don't know what conversations happened in between this day, but it felt very early on, like a day one, day two, to kind of like try to like put yourself out there to kind of like, I don't know, protect someone from getting voted out, or like kind of like show that like you're willing to like be strategic a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Lance comes off as a very happy-go-lucky, friendly person, and I feel like everyone's going to want to be his friend this season, which is great. But then now he's the thing that separates him from a lot of the other casts who are kind of like friendly and like in the background is that now there's someone that's going to be like looking out for that versus like kind of just stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know Blake is a trustworthy person yet. You know, exactly. I don't know Blake from a can of paint. So that's why I would just have waited. But there's also the aspect of entertainment and also just trying stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this isn't a vote out game, as you said, Cheyenne. Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to really play this, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say, guess who played it the best this round?
Tyler. You talking? Hold on. So we're talking about Lance. So right after the challenge, he's talking to Christina and Jaylene, and they both talk about their greatest fears. We get Lance saying, you know, people are sharing. I'm a likable person. Let's hear what they have to say. And then at the like deliberation, Lance and Hairboy, I think that's Rob. Wait, no, Hairboy's Zach. So Lance and Zach were like, let's look at the girls. The very next day, when the four of them are actually sitting down to talk, Lance is like, actually, I want 2 men up there, and everyone shuts him down. By the time they're back down at the floor, there are 2 women and 2 men. Just like to say that.
You're not wrong. Listen, this is day one. Like I said, we only see what the show wants us to see, and I don't know what interlockings even happen in between there. There's like, again, when it's not an elimination vote out show, I really feel like you can almost do anything and like possibly still win. Like it's so random, especially Fear Factor, where this game is just based off of like fear. Like as you said, one person had freaking snakes and rats, another person just had bugs and birds. Like, you know, you don't know. It's a lot of luck involved with this show, so we'll see. But I'm excited for Lance. That's all I'm gonna say. Lance,
and I would say the last thing about this specific vote, I feel like the person who got out scot-free was Tyler. I feel like she got to say, you know, Jaylene is a girl boss, but you know, ain't no like she kind of had no, you know, nothing kind of bad went wrong in that vote for her. Everybody else, Zach got called out, Rob got called out, and Lance kind of called Rob out in the kind of situation. So I think she's the only one who kind of got away with that, which is free, clean hands.
You could never underestimate the world's hate for women.
I feel you.
Tyler's out next episode. Just it hasn't come out.
Okay.
All right. Let's watch. I mean, let's talk about one more person because I am in a time crunch, but I didn't want to talk about this person. I was going to talk about Blake, but it's okay. We kind of
talked about Blake. I
don't got enough time for that right now.
It's okay. Shout out to Blake.
Shout out to Blake. We will revisit Blake next episode. We're in a rush and we started late. All right. Lastly, I want to talk about our first eliminated contestant. Is it Kristen? Kristen. This is the cheerleader, I believe, right? Yeah.
I like her.
Sorry. School counselor, Tampa, Florida, 29. She is out. She was interesting. I did like her, as Ganja said. But I don't blame her for tapping out when she tapped out. Snakes is crazy. Even if they aren't going to bite you, I don't care if it's a garden snake. I don't play with snakes, bro.
This is big ass snakes too.
That's what I'm saying. They did her dirty in comparison to what the other people had to like. Her and Jaylene had the worst out of everybody there. It like I don't know what was going on, and then you got Zach's ass on the outside screaming all this stuff just at her, like wild. You know what I'm saying? So like I get it. I don't blame her or anyone else in this cast that eventually taps out from leaving the show because that was crazy. I saw some damn thing with needles. Like y'all are crazy for even signing up for the show, but I respect it. Kirsten, where could she have? Like, do you guys think that she had potential as a player? Could she have done anything different? Obviously, outside of not quit. How do you guys feel about her?
I don't think she could have done much different as a player. Maybe try not to get on Zach's bad side. I don't know what she did to get on Zach's bad side.
Be a girl.
I actually feel like it was a more so a group decision that she kind of got thrown in, and it was kind of like, if we throw her in, this is what it seems to me. If we throw her in, she's not coming back. And I think they wanted that. So from what they wanted, it made sense. But like I said before, I'm not understanding why you're taking out weak links right now. I'm throwing anybody who I didn't see that was scared. Are you going in? Anybody. Because you have to start thinking, you don't need people at every challenge. You might need somebody at one challenge, but it's 13 of them this next challenge. You think they're going to be in groups? Please. No. So, or somebody got to sit out. It does not matter. My point is, it didn't make sense for her to go home on a strategic standpoint, but I guess when you're trying to protect somebody else, maybe that's why she went in.
I do think that her like time in the plexiglass reminded me the most of OG Fear Factor. Like, I remember episodes where people had to lower themselves into coffins filled with snakes, which is really interesting. And these contestants had to sign pages of waivers about how they will act and what they can't do with all of these animals on top of them. So I think at some point, if she kept screaming, she would have had to have gone. Because you can't keep screaming around animals,
especially snakes.
Okay, because then you scare them. Then you make them do stuff.
Yeah, R.I.P. to her.
Yeah, sad days for her. And I think she was very promising. Not because she was a first boot, but she was giving first boot. Like,
I wanted to see her fight Zach.
It's another lady that I don't even know if we got her name, but she was really giving first boot.
Was it Jenny?
Who knows,
teacher's aide? Wait, hold on. I'll pull a picture. Is it this
it
one?
Wasn't.
Is it this one?
Who's that?
She's on the show, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
she's there. Okay. I seen her in the background. I was like, oh yeah, she would most definitely been in there. I would have saved her. I would actually probably say Jaylene. Actually, if I knew Jaylene would have had it, I probably would have threw her in and kept Chris.
Okay.
But Team Jaylene.
All right.
I'm Team Jaylene, Team Lance. You know,
this is a pro Lance podcast, but we are also not biased. We keep it real. So if I gotta, you know what I'm saying, we keep it real. But we are rooting for Lance here at Soundfight. But we are not biased. We are anything but sound. Anyway, that's all we got for today. Because
I've never been more biased in my entire life.
Okay,
you can be biased. I gotta keep it fair. You know what I'm saying? But that's our podcast for today. Listen, I was very optimistic about this. I was going to definitely just watch this for Lance, but now this podcast is giving me another reason to want to watch it because this was very fun. We plan on recording on Mondays, so even if you are watching live, you can join us on Mondays, and if not, you can just join us on the VOD. You know what I'm saying? But if you like everything you hear, as I said earlier in the podcast, please like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps. You can also, I can't find my graph for some reason. Here you go. Follow us at Silent Podcast or Silent_podcast on everything. And if you're listening on our audio platforms, you can like it 5 stars. 5 stars only. Don't like it if you don't like it at all. Ganjo, thank you so much for coming, and I'm excited to cover this with you. Where can people find you?
So you can find me at Ganjo the Dank, basically everywhere. And I will say, fear nothing but not trying. Only thing you should fear is not trying. Follow me on everything. We'll be back next week. Let's get it.
And snakes. All right. And then Cheyenne, I'm also excited to cover this with you. Where can people find you, Cheyenne?
Thank you, Isaiah. I'm Cheyenne New on everything. Cheyenne New with a K because I am a know-it-all. If you're in the New York, Brooklyn area, I'll be doing a roast of this very skinny white girl that I know, January 25th. I'm also performing stand-up February 1st at Brooklyn Comedy Collective.
All right. Listen, next time I go to New York, I need to see you, Cheyenne, because it's been way too long. You know what I'm saying? Lastly, you can follow me at 8 Ball Bangers on everything. Like I said at the beginning, I'm about to go live right now to talk about traders with Katie. So if you enjoy more reality TV talk, you can follow us there. But until next time, have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.